Well, bring in the marching band and bring in Denver Bronco Roundup. It's Keith, it's Trevor, it's a Friday night, man. Welcome, Broncos fans. Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you joining us this evening. It's a late show. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We're sponsored by Willow Seasonings and Blends. And like I said, my fine co-host for this evening, none other than Trevor Salzman. How we doing, Trevor?
Not too bad, Keith. We best qualities we get when we get podcasts out. I mean, it might be midnight, it might be 5 a.m. We don't know, but we try to stay on schedule as much as possible. Things happen. We're still here, and just can't wait to talk Broncos with everybody, and just definitely looking for a Denver Bronco win because it's definitely manageable.
It's manageable, man, and yeah, absolutely. Things happen. Things are going on. I'll be honest, right now, I just got back from a Christmas party. That's why I'm dressed up like Al Michaels in the booth right now. But, I'm rushing in here. I'm wanting to talk to you guys because this is a absolutely huge game. This is, man, I don't know if they keep stacking up. We keep talking about stacking wins. Well, we keep stacking expectations at the same time, man. Expectations are going up. These games are becoming more and more important. It's been a long time since we ran into, hey, it's mid-December and the Broncos are playing meaningful games and we're hoping and we're diagnosing and we're not thinking about the draft. We're thinking about what the Denver Broncos can do, well, on a Saturday instead of Sunday. So just around the corner, man, 24 hours from now, we'll know the outcome of this game, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the beauty part of the season. We were beginning of the year, we're talking about drafts and everything, and what's Broncos going to do with Russell Wilson and then Sean Payton, the guy. And then right now, we're talking about Denver Broncos playoffs and this team just making a run and just being in the hunt. And that's what you can ask for at this part of the season is giving yourself a chance. And Broncos are doing that right now. They're playing great. I think that their schedule is very manageable now with the news. The Chargers with Staley being fired now, it's another even more of a winnable game because he's gone and you don't have Herbert. So it's even more in the Broncos' favor of all that happened, that fiasco there and with the Chargers. So
yeah, it makes it that much more interesting as we go down the stretch, man. And talking about interesting, I wanted to go ahead and I want to check out the chat boards because our good friend Jeremy Dresser's coming in here and saying, "Sup, fellas, go Broncos, man, go Broncos!" And man, like I said, 24 hours from now, we're gonna be all set, man. We're gonna know the outcome of this game. Yeah, Jeremy also coming in here and saying Keith's all dressed up. Well, yeah, like I said, best Al Michaels impersonation. I'm doing my booth impersonations. How about that? Just kidding. But no, just got back from the Christmas party, man. But I didn't want to leave our fans hanging, man. We've been doing these Friday night, warm up pre-games, before the game gets kicked off. Tonight, it's like I said, it's real close because we have a Saturday game, but typically we're doing this on a Friday leading into Sunday, man. I'm excited, guys. Like I said, not very many times we're out there playing relevant football late in December, and here we are, man. Destiny in our hands. Destiny sits within our hands. I tell you, man, if we can win out like a lot of people are talking about, Trevor, we got a great shot at making these playoffs, man. So let's start talking about stacking those wins, man, and start, like I said, starts really quick now. It's right around the corner. Hopefully these guys are all set to go. I do want to hit the chat board real quick because our fantastic friend is coming in here on the other side of the coast, man, staying up real late and staying up late to see us, saying, "Good evening, everyone. and welcome to another episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup, also known as the greatest Bronco Pack podcast on earth. Well, Kenny, once again, making me blush, and it's not maybe the one drink I had at the Christmas party. It's because of what you're saying here. So I appreciate you very much, man. He's saying, love the late night talk, and maybe the only reason I may be the only one on the East Coast awake at work, so I'll be very active tonight. Well, thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it, man. And appreciate everyone jumping in here and being a part of it. Trevor, like I said, we need to get geared up for this game. I'm stoked. I'm ready to go, man. The Broncos need to be stoked and ready to go, but when we say ready to go, what does that mean, man? What should be some of the key points heading into this game for the Broncos to come out with a victory?
Yeah, I think in particular, you got to stop the run. I think it's going to be a team that's going to really pound the rock first. I think Goff's been a guy that's kind of been shaky this year. If you're the Broncos, you need to force Goff to throw the ball, and you got to put pressure on him. And that's going to be a little hard because you don't have Nick Benito. He's out in this one, so you're going to have to kind of get to Goff however you can without your leading passer. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I think it just stops the run defensively and offensively. They got to come ready to play. I mean, you can't have one of these lull offensive performances because you are going to put your defense in a really tough spot. And Broncos defense are great, but Detroit's very talented on the opposite side of the ball. They will eventually. This game is going to be a high scoring game, in my opinion. This isn't going to be one of those 10 to 17 games or anything like that. It's going to be a high scoring game, I think. And Broncos offense going to have to keep up, and they're going to have to they're going to have to do their part. And let's see what they did in the second half versus Chargers, not the first half. What they did against Chargers. We got to see that type of Broncos offense. Can't see an offense that just does not want to be there and just kind of going through the motions and kind of lost at times. We feel like this year. Need to see a complete game. Have to start seeing this offense, but complete games together and start out just ready to go because, again, you're going to start playing good teams on the stretch, and it's a good habit to get to going into the playoffs. Complete games all the way around from offense and defense side of the ball. Defense can't do it all the time.
Agreed, man. But the defense is just going to have it. They're going to have their hands full tomorrow night, man. I'm telling you, like you said, running game is no joke. It doesn't care. I don't care if you're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't care if you're talking David Montgomery. Both these guys have the ability to carry the rock, to pound it, and they've got a fantastic offensive line. One with a name that everyone might even recognize, and one Graham Glasgow that sits on the right side of that offensive line, clocking in the right guard position. But that being said, this offensive line has been playing phenomenal. So you got two backs to worry about, but that's not the end of it either. That's not the end of it at all. It's not like you're weaponless on the outside, Yeah. So whether you're talking about Williams or Reynolds or Laporta, I mean, these guys are absolutely stacked, up and down for offensive weapons, man. So you talked about being able to get after Goff whichever way you can. I want to pick out one way that I think we can do it. And it's a guy that's been really showing out, a guy that I got to give credit to because I didn't give a whole lot of credit at the end of last year and coming into this year. And that's one Jaleel McLaughlin. Jaleel McLaughlin has been playing phenomenal. And when I say phenomenal, not only can he cover in the back end, but he's doing great on coming on blitzes. We saw that last week. And he's able to recover into position when we're up there and we're showing different fronts and different looks. He falls back into position. He has great coverage in zone. Jaleel McLaughlin is one guy that I think is going to be a key in this game in order to make sure that this defense can withstand a little bit of what the Lions are going to put out on the field, man. Who's a defensive player that for you that you think is going to need to stick up? Not stick up. Don't stick up anybody. Now's the time of year for that. We want everybody on the field. No, I'm just kidding. No. Who needs to stand up? Step up. Stand up, step up, stick up. Boy, I'm having a hard time.
It's one of those late nights, But no,
there you go, buddy.
No, I think you meant Jaquil McMillan. That's what I think you meant. But here's the thing. For me, I think it's going to be. I think Zach Allen is going to be really important in this game. I think just him stopping the run, I think is going to be key. And I just think that he's got to get off for Goff. He's got to do his part. And it starts with DJ Jones and Zach Allen up front. But Zach Allen, for me, when he's playing at his best and he's stopping the run, I think he pushes this defense to another hole when he's able to stop the run. So for me, it's Zach Allen. I think he's really important part, I think, in this game, and I think will be a big important part stopping the run.
Yeah, I agree, man. Those two guys up front, you can choose either one of them.
Yeah.
You can choose a DJ Jones. You can choose a Zach Allen. And quite honestly, you probably need to choose both if you're going to be formidable up front. But good call out, man. These guys, Zach Allen, DJ Jones. Who was it that you chose? Because I had to step off for just a second.
No, I said Zach Allen.
Zach Allen, very good.
Yeah.
Zach Allen. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say because Zach Allen can do multiple things in the game. DJ Jones more or less is just a run stopper. Once in a while gets the quarterback, but Zach Allen, I mean, he's a guy that can, I think, really impact the game. Just stopping the run, but also getting after Goff. So I think he's that guy that you're Detroit. I think you need to worry about because you can't just let him kind of do whatever. I mean, he can impact the games in multiple different ways, and I think that's what's such a great thing about Zach Allen. And for me, he's a guy that I think needs to step up big in this game. If he does, I kind of like the Broncos' chances.
I like it, man. I also like our good friends that always are checking in with us and being a part of the show. And thank you guys so much for being part of the Denver Bronco Roundup, being part of the posse, as I call the chat board over here. Got Pearl coming in and saying hello. Hello, Pearl. Always great to see you. Nice chatting with you on and off. So, again, guys, feel free. Reach out. We're always available on all your social media feeds. If you want to talk a little bit after the pod, feel free. Jump out. Reach out to us. We'll be glad to talk a little bit of anything with you guys. I want to say what Kenny's got going on up here, too. He says, if you get a bad Goff, he is bottom 3 in the league, and the Broncos will win easily. If you get good Goff, it's going to be a battle because it's top 3 when he is on. And that is 100% true. I agree with this statement as well from Kenny. Sam Laporta is the guy you have to stop over St. Brown, in my opinion. And that's one guy that I just even brushed over. I forgot about St. Brown and Reynolds and Williams and Laporta. And, like I said, the weapons are deep, deep, deep. Jody Moncrief coming in here, co-host on the Denver Bronco Roundup. You see him on Tuesdays. Sometimes you get to see him on the post game. I don't know if we've had Jody on a Friday night as of yet.
No.
It's usually a little bit tough, but hey, watch for Jody. He is the judge. He comes and brings it. He's coming in and saying, Jaquan McMillan is his guy as well. He's also wondering if this is the new dress code. And yes, it's going to be shirt and tie from here on out, Jody. Right. So get it all lined up. I'm just kidding, man. Appreciate it, man. Graham, fantastic, Graham, to see you. I appreciate you jumping in here, giving us a hey, guys, over on YouTube. Always bringing great, great questions and great insight, Graham. I appreciate you jumping in here as well. Kenny's jumping in here and saying, both middle linebackers for me, Jewell and Singleton. So, you're choosing those guys right up over the ball. He's choosing the next layer back, man, and those middle linebackers. They are going to have their hands full, especially if he's talking about Sam Laporta over in Amon St. Brown. These are the guys that are going to have to really step up and they're going to have that coverage. I almost guarantee it, though we did see, once again, Pat Surtain playing a lot of coverage over on tight ends once again last week as well. So look for that as well. But what do you think about the linebackers? And let me ask you this. Which of the two middle linebackers do you think needs to have a better game? Josie Jewell or Alex Singleton?
Yeah, so I think in this game in particular, you can't really go wrong with who you think should be more important matchup because the Lions have so many different weapons. You have one of the best probably running back duos in the league, and with Gibbs and Montgomery, and then you have St. Brown and you have Laporta and Reynolds. Even it just keeps going, trickles on down. So there's many different ways the Broncos are going to stop Lions. I don't think there's one way in particular. Again, you got to stop the run first because I think the Broncos just still struggle with that. But for me, I think in particular, I think Alex Singleton still needs to prove something to me. He still needs to kind of just. He likes to be the fire again. I get that. He just got to keep his emotions, under control. And I think that either one of these middle linebackers in particular really need to have a big game. I just think that this needs to be a big team win all the way around and a team game defensively because again, you just can't pinpoint to one way to stop this team. I mean, there's many different ways you're going to have to find a way to stop this team. Pass and with the run. So I think in particular, Alex Singleton, but honestly, both of them need to have a really good game because this is a tough team to stop in Detroit Lions.
Good call out by Kenny. It's not one, it's not the other. They're both going to have to have a great game. You can't really have one just slacking and the other one doing great out here. It's going to be an all-in type of effort. Pearl's coming in here and saying, Remember, if you pressure Goff, he falls apart. Once again, saying that you started off with right off the top, Trevor, saying that's something we'll need to do. Martin's coming in here. Appreciate Martin coming in on YouTube. He's saying Detroit's offensive weapons will be a great test for us. I'm excited for the Broncos to show everyone that we're up to it. Trevor, that's a great question, man. I mean, it's been a long time since Miami. And, I'll be honest, I thought Houston was going to be a shootout. You're saying this is going to be the time that it could be a big point game on both sides of both sides of the scoreboard. Do the Broncos have what it shows? Do you think when this game is all done, the public, all the media and everything will be looking at the Denver Broncos defense and going, that's for real? Do
Yeah,
you think? Do you agree with Martin? I guess is what I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, I think that you obviously have to look at that right now. I just think if you watch the games, like as if you're a media person, like if you're just a media person, just like ESPN or something, and I think you have to watch the games in particular. If those guys aren't crediting the defense already, I think it's they're not watching the games. I mean, you have to. Yes, the offense and Russell Wilson has been played. They played good so far, but let's be honest, this team ain't where it's at if the defense ain't playing where they're at. So I mean, the defense weren't playing very good at the beginning of the year, and look what happened. I mean, and then the defense started stepping up. They turned the corner, and we're talking about playoffs. So I think in particular, I just think that it's going to be a great test, no doubt about it. I think it's going to be a great test for this team going into the playoffs. I'm glad that this game came where it's at right now and not the beginning of the year, because you can always get better, whether it's a win or loss, by facing opponents with these amount of weapons. We haven't probably seen an offense with these amount of weapons in a while. So I mean, I can't really think in particular. So it's gonna be a great test, I think, for this defense and Vance Joseph as well. Just gotta continue to step up, play your game. To have different blitz packages in there for Goff, and then you got to stop the run most importantly.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I go back to Miami. Miami is the most prolific offense we've seen, like actually execute on the field this year. Buffalo is supposed to be a team that looks fantastic. Buffalo has not looked fantastic. Kansas City is supposed to be a team that looks fantastic. They haven't looked fantastic. Houston even, once again, they didn't have the most fantastic game against us. And maybe that says something right there. Even in a loss, like you said, you can learn things. Maybe we learned a few things even in Houston that we can bring forward to this game, because it is going to be a test. I got to get back to the posse, man, because they're blowing it up, and I appreciate you guys a ton. We got Clayton coming in here and saying, hey, guys, smash that like button and share, guys. And, Clayton comes in here every single time, always giving us great support. But I'll tell you what, he added another level right here, because he jumps back in and says, great way to top off a Friday night. Great job, guys. Well, appreciate it, man. Appreciate that a ton. I'm trying to read off to the side, but Graham always has good takes, so I'm just going to read it. Not sure how he's done for the Lions, but you should check out linebacker Derek Barnes' college tape. Unreal. So, yeah, 100%, man. And Derek Barnes is a guy that I think that we'll have to be concerned about on that defensive side as well. I think on our defensive side, though, and just kind of wrapping a bow on that, at least from my perspective, this is going to be a big game for Vance Joseph, 100%. And I'll be honest, what I saw in the last game, the way that he was playing against the Chargers, fantastically played. Things that I hadn't seen that I've been asking for years, Trevor, years. I remember seeing it with New England, and I saw them just absolutely terrorize teams. And that's sometimes you're lining up with every single guy on the line of scrimmage and you're dropping. Sometimes, and I saw this was new for me, 2 down linemen for the Broncos. 2 down linemen for the Broncos and just a bunch of guys kind of hovering around, right? It's those type of looks that are going to keep Goff guessing, give guys opportunity to get to him, because I 100% agree our best opportunity to slow down this Lions offense is going to be with pressure on Goff, keep him guessing, have him holding that ball for just a half a second longer. His turnovers have been off the charts in the last few games. If we can keep that up, yes, I think we walk away kind of like one of our commenters were saying and say, wow, look at that defense. Because I agree. I think there's been a lot of talk about how this defense has been carrying this team, but there hasn't been anything about this defense being, whoa, elite, watch out. You don't want to play those guys. I think this is a game where if we can play the way we want to play, we could be talking about a Denver Broncos defense like that.
Yeah, in particular, I think that again, look back to that Chicago Bears game. I mean, that's a team that we beat earlier this season, and that's a team that we thought all was falling apart. I mean, and they really took care of Detroit really well. I mean, they pressured Goff 4 sacks on the day for them, and he threw 2 interceptions in that game. So it's definitely possible. He's definitely going to be. You definitely have to pressure him, but again, I just think Detroit's going to try to attack. Denver's run game. I mean, they're going to make Denver stop the run game because they've been so elite. And why wouldn't you? I mean, teams, we've seen it so many times this year. Cleveland, what did they do? They went against the run and they started passing the ball. That played to Denver's strengths. That probably lost in the game in a lot of ways. I mean, not trying to take away what Denver did, but Cleveland got away from a game plan that again just made no sense because you're playing to the Broncos' strengths, not to your strengths as a team and not to their weaknesses. So I just think, in particular, I think this will be a game that I think Dan Campbell. He's been with Sean Payton before. I think there's a little bit of motivation to beat Sean Payton just because he was with Sean Payton in New Orleans and he's played for him. So Dan Campbell's going to be ready to go. I think he's going to have a game plan that's going to set up his offense, his defense to be successful. Again, Denver's going to have to counteract that. What does Sean Payton do? I think it'd be a big game for Sean Payton as well in this one because, again, last week he definitely outcoached Staley. But can he do that again this week against Dan Campbell? Because Dan Campbell's been a very good coach this year and it's really turned that Detroit Lions organization around. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think Sean Payton, he's even more, important in this game, I think as well.
Yeah, we'll flip over to that offensive side for the Broncos as well. And obviously that's where Sean Payton lives. Another name, though, on the other side of the field, though, Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator, once again played for Sean Payton. So there's a lot of relationships that are going around on this field. I'm sure this will be one that actually everyone meets at the middle of the field, and there's good handshakes and hugs and the whole 9 yards. So
and you look at both staffs, VJ and Aaron Glenn, they're both going to be head coaching candidates this season, likely. So that's pretty cool to see. And both of them, VJ and Glenn, they're going to want to go after each other's, the opposing team's offense and try to see who can get the upper hand in that one, because it'll look better for them down the line when they get those coaching interviews and stuff like that. So it'd be interesting to see, if one can stop one's offense, the opposing offense, if they will definitely, kind of rise their bar a little bit as far as other teams getting a head coaching job somewhere else. It'd be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. A little side story within the game, right? Just what's happening on the defensive side of the ball for both teams, right? Yeah. Graham's coming in here and saying, got to dial up some safety blitzes. Yeah, it was nice to even see Justin Simmons coming in on blitz last week, you know what I mean? Not just a PJ Locke type of blitz, which we kind of expect, from time to time, especially the type of player PJ Locke is. But that's the type of opportunity you have, like I said, when you're putting all those different fronts and all those different looks. You have all those guys hovering up against the line of scrimmage. Safety blitzes can come from easily in those positions. You don't want to be running from 30 yards deep. You know what I mean? On a blitz, sometimes that's not always the best opportunity. Yeah. So Pearl's got a great question though, and you kind of alluded to it earlier, and maybe we'll put a button on our wrap up ribbon on the defensive side with this. Will they miss Benito?
Oh yeah, I think Benito's, he's played so well this year. I think he's your leading sack guy. You'll definitely miss him. I don't know. Against the running game, you probably won't because he still has a little bit of trouble stopping the run. But I think definitely getting after Goff, I think they will miss him. And you want to try to get those guys, many rotating edge rushers that can get to the quarterback as possible. And they're just one guy that you won't have, and it's that guy that's your leading sack guy. So you're going to have to, Jonathan Cooper, Baron Browning, they're going to have to be big in this game because you don't have Nick Benito to rotate in there. And so hopefully a worry I guess I would have is those guys getting too tired because they aren't rotating as much. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But, they will definitely miss Nick Benito, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that rotation, and that's what I was going to hit on as well, Trevor. That rotation that they have, such a strong rotation, and being able to keep fresh legs out there and keep guys active and going after the ball. You go down a step. Obviously, they'll bring somebody else up, and there'll be a rotation as well. That I'm sure that's the direction they'll end up going. But it's tough to, like you said, replace your leading sack getter at this point. It's tough to replace a Nick Benito who's really stepped up this year and is more than just a speed rusher around the corner, has really done well to defend the edge, so can bring both sides to it. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, and we're gonna have to though expect, as you said, more from a Jonathan Cooper, Agent Zero, or Baron Browning, who's just been playing lights out.
Drew Sanders might be a game to see him and get after the quarterback a little bit if you want to try him out
Yeah,
at the edge. I mean, I think
I've
this would be
heard
the
some
game for him.
speculation on that, and
Yeah.
that's a good question. Is this the game to do it? Because he hasn't got a whole lot of experience out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of you don't want to throw him out there and make him flounder. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But at the same time, man, you'd love to get him the experience. You'd love to get him, the time underneath his belt. Whoa, it's not an earthquake. I just hit my laptop. It's all right, everybody. Um, um, yeah, it would be great to get him all primed and ready as you kind of head into the playoffs as well. He's a great athlete. If he can get a little bit better on his X's and O's, he could be a phenomenal athlete and be that linebacker that quite honestly might be the one that sits alongside one of these other guys
Yeah.
next year. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm going to hit the comment board again because we have some people in here jumping in. Martin's jumping in and saying third down stops will be huge for us. We have to be able to get off the field. 100% agree with that. Broncos have been phenomenal, and they had a fantastic game as far as that was concerned last week. If you look at this defense and some of the statistics they're putting up now, it is, I mean, you're talking like top 5 statistics in some big key categories, and one of them as of lately has been third down conversion. So hats off to them. They need to continue to do that. We need to get off the field. Penny Sewell could be tough to get by. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Talk about a guy that I was, well, really wanting for the Denver Broncos, but didn't quite end up going our direction. Penei Sewell is a phenomenal athlete, and it's not going to be easy. That offensive line is just beastly, just beastly. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip over this Denver Broncos offense, and how are we going to be able to take advantage of the Detroit Lion defense? We started off this way on the offensive side of the things. Why don't we start naming a few key players that are going to have to be step up, be big, be good on the offensive side of the ball for us to pull off a win tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be. I'd start up front. I think it starts with your offensive line. When this offensive line wins their matchups and when they're at the top of their game, this Broncos offense is hard to stop. We've seen it, and we've seen kind of a mixed baggage. I think throughout the season. In Houston, they got their tails beat. I mean, I'll just kind of say how it is, and it showed. Russ, there was no passing game, hardly any running game, and it was just not very good offense in general. So I think it just starts up front with all 5 guys. I mean, it really does. I mean, those guys got to step up in this one, and just kind of let give Russ some time to throw in the pocket. It'd be nice to see Russ kind of outside the pocket, a little bit of play action as well. I think you stick to running the ball as well because that's what's worked for you. And when you have a balanced attack, that's worked better for you than when you are going pass heavy like you did in the Houston game.
Mm.
So it's something that I think, again, this is Sean Payton. We got to see this is what he's getting paid for. Let's see what Sean Payton puts together. Kind of schemes it up. He knows Dan Campbell too, so it's something that we're like, and he knows Glenn as well. So it'd be interesting to see what he take all that information that he's got from those guys over the years of knowing them and puts them into a scheme that he's going to be able to put in this game. It's going to be interesting. I think that there's definitely an advantage. It could be an advantage on either side. It could be advantage for Detroit or for Denver. It just depends on which one will take advantage of that advantage. So it'll be interesting to see that in particular, but I think it starts up front for me.
Very good. Clayton's coming in here, threw a couple comments up saying ground and pound, baby, all night long. He's got the comment up here right now saying play action over the top, bam. Kind of similarly, bootleg QB run from coming in from Graham as well. So looking to on that play action, on that QB run, getting Russ outside the pocket a little bit. This is the one thing I saw from just the footage of the Detroit Lions and their defense. One, not too worried about this defensive front. It seems like most teams have been able to handle quite well. I'll be honest, flipping that, and I said, hey, let's talk about a few key players on the offensive side of the ball that need to really step up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in the lap of Russell Wilson. We already talked about how this is going to have to be a big game, maybe have to be big points, in order to come away with a win, especially if this defensive or these Detroit Lions starts going off against our defense. Again, a lot of weapons. It's certainly a possibility. The big thing I want to see from Russell Wilson, though, is patience in the pocket. Patience in the pocket, because I can tell you there is time. There is time against this Detroit Lions defense. I saw quarterback after quarterback sit back there and be able to stand in the pocket. It might move around you. It might get a little bit tight here and there. But the guys who had patience are able to pick apart this secondary, and that's something that I want to see Russell Wilson do. I don't want to see him with happy feet in the pocket, always trying to get out. Take your time. Go through more than just a couple reads. Mark Schlereth was out there saying that there's a quarterback. This is a high school quarterback type of offense where you're looking one or two reads at best and then running. This is I think you have opportunity this week to sit in the pocket and start to pick apart. So I'm going to go, you're going to go offensive line to start. I'm going to go Russell Wilson. I'm going to go back to you. Is there anybody else on the offensive side that you need to see step up?
Yeah, I think in particular, I would like to see Jerry Jeudy kind of break out in this game at some point in time. I would like, but also for me, it's more important that Sean Payton is the real key factor in this one. How does he get Jerry Jeudy involved in this offense? Because again, you're going to need Jerry Jeudy down the line. You have Cortland Sutton right now, but again, teams are going to continue to adjust to him. You got lucky last week. That was a secondary, with the Chargers, it's not played very well, and that defense just struggled. Well, at some point in time, you're not going to have that. You're not going to have Sutton downfield because they're going to double more than likely. So you're going to have to rely on somebody. Who's that going to be? Who's that next guy to step up in the passing game? Jerry Jeudy's got to have to be that guy. You held on to him with the deadline. What you took that chance on him. You have to find a way to get him involved. I continue to say short passes, get his confidence up, because right now he doesn't have it, and his mentally he's just not there right now. You have to get him in into the game. You have to involve him sooner and get cross the plays down the middle. However you can do it. It's that wide receiver screen. However you can do it, just get him involved. Get him involved, not with the throwing the ball down the field. That's not Jerry Jeudy's game. Jerry Jeudy's he's not Cortland Sutton. So I don't know why we keep throwing the ball deep shots downfield to Jerry Jeudy and expecting just to make him. Yeah, eventually he will, but again he's been kind of non-existent in this offense. So for me, it's just like, how can Sean Payton? Who's he going to get involved? Is it Mims? Is it Jeudy? Is it P. Ryan? Who's that second guy other than Cortland Sutton in this offense that can step up? You're going to need that, I think, in this game.
Yeah. I mean, this is my big debate. I've been going through this. I'll be honest. We need this to be a big game. We might need to be putting up points. Is this the game? Because at some point we've been talking about this. I'd love to get Jerry Jeudy going because it can't just be Cortland Sutton. And, this is a first-round pick, and we don't have that receiving tight end. And, so then we're going down the roster, and we're looking for a little Jordan Humphreys or, it just, this should be the guy. But is this the game to say, okay, we're once again going to try to feature Jerry Jeudy. We're going to try to get him a few more touches. We're going to try to get him involved so that we can get him going, so that we can make this run in the playoffs. Or do you not have that ability to sit there and tailor to a Jerry Jeudy in a game where you know that you need to put up points, and it's like, man, you'll get yours when you'll get yours. And I'm sorry if it's going to be a 2-target, 1-reception game for you. That's just the way it went. I'm torn, man, because I'm halfway thinking, let's get a little Jordan Humphreys going. Let's get a Brandon Johnson going. Let's flex somebody else in, just because, man, it's tough to see drop passes, and it's tough to, go up against a team like the Detroit Lions where you think you might need to put up points, and all of a sudden those things are starting to happen. and you're feeding them more. Feeding them more to get less is something that we can't afford, man. So I'll throw it back to you, man. Do you feed Jerry Judy, or do you look a different direction, or do you just let the game plan play out?
I mean, I think you need to try to feed Jerry Judy as much as you can. I think you again. I think that they went about it the wrong way with deep passes downfield, and you expecting them just to make plays. We've seen that crossing route in the Chargers game for what first play, first drive at least, and that's what I'm talking about. Get the ball out of Russ's hands quicker, helps the offensive line, and it gets Jerry Judy involved sooner. I'm not saying you do that every single play because the defense is eventually going to adjust to that. But what I'm saying is short routes, Jerry Judy, let him use his speed. He's not a guy that's going to go up and get the ball anyway. So you're not right there. You're not playing to his strengths. Yeah, eventually, maybe downfield once he gets his confidence going. Yeah, but right now he has no confidence. And can you expect him just to make that play when you're not getting involved sooner in the offense? You got in Cortland Sutton involved because you're playing to Cortland Sutton's strengths. You're not playing Jerry Judy's strengths right now. So what was the point of holding on to him? I mean, and somebody's got to step up in this passing game. We're talking about this passing game stepping up and really making a step up going into the playoffs. You're going to need it. Who else is going to be? Again, good teams are going to adjust to Cortland Sutton. You're not going to have that always down the field with Cortland Sutton. I know Russ and Sutton have that connection, but at some point in time, there's got to be multiple guys that you can go to. And again, we don't have that pass catching tight end. You don't have that. Maybe when Dulcich gets back, but again, it's just a big maybe because we don't know where he's at injury wise. So it's just like a big maybe, and I don't like that going in the playoffs. You have to have a second or third guy to go to, and Russ don't have that. Maybe Pete Ryan, probably arguably your second best guy right now to go to. I mean, you have a running back that's your second best, threat downfield. That kind of says something about this offense, doesn't it? So it's just like, I don't think you force feed Judy, but I think that you got to get him involved, balance it out, get him involved a little bit more, and play more to his strengths than just throwing deep shots downfield and hoping, praying he catches the ball. I mean, I know that he's a first-round draft pick, and he should be doing that. But again, you got to get the guy's confidence going, and got to get him and Russ get that connection. And by doing that, I think short passes, letting him use his speed, is perfect way to get him involved, in my opinion.
All right, man. Well, I tell you, we got the plethora of comments coming in all the way across the board. I'm going to start with Kenny, even though he was the last one to come in, because he comes in agreement, says this is the game to get him right. He has been getting wide open, and he will be playing against nickel and backup cornerbacks. So Kenny's right in that thought process. It's time to get Jerry Judy going. Got Martin coming in here and said, you'll get yours when you'll get yours. Should be the mindset with Judy. If we're going to feed someone, it should be Sutton. And then we got Pearl coming in here and saying, look a different direction, please. So she's asking for a little Jordan Humphreys. She's asking for a Brandon Johnson. Somebody other than Jerry Judy. She's. I'll be honest, Pearl's in our comments. She's not a Jerry Judy fan. I think she's ready to move on. And, that was obviously an option. That was the way a lot of people felt, Pearl's held on to that, and I understand it, and I respect it. But, at some point, I agree. We need to have something right now. You're right. It's either P. Ryan or Troutman's been coming on a little bit, or the tight end position is being utilized a little bit more. We saw a big reception by Kroll last week as well. So, man, you'd love it to be Jerry Judy, like you said. Where you drafted him, what the expectations are. Yeah, I'd love to get him going. This has that potential. But I'm going to be right there. And maybe you could tell in the way I was phrasing my question, I was already giving you my answer. I'm going to be in agreement with Martin. I think you just need to get yours when you get yours. You know what I mean? I don't think you want to be forcing it in a game like this, because I think you need to just take the opportunities where they're at. Now, as you said, I think there's opportunities to scheme better so that Jerry Judy does get more opportunities in that way, or he's been put in a better position in order to get those opportunities. So maybe that's the I guess the way that we kind of balance out that all out is that maybe you do get more opportunities, but it's just done in the absolute right way. But I am not force feeding it. I'm not looking to just try to get him going. I just don't. I don't think you can afford to do that in this game.
Well, and I was going to say, look at Detroit. So if you look at Detroit, they have how many different threats? I mean, they have St. Brown, Porta, Reynolds, and then they have their running back too. So that's by 5 targets right there. Who do you have with Denver? You have Sutton, maybe P. Ryan, and maybe Troutman. You have 3 maybes. You have 2 maybes and 1 for sure. So that's what I'm saying. And you have Detroit. They have threats everywhere. And Denver, you're still trying to figure that out. And that's why I say I don't want to force feed Jerry Jeudy, but who else is going to step up? Is it Marvin Mims? Is it Brandon Johnson? Who else is there? Because you have to have somebody else other than Sutton out there to do what he's been doing. Because again, good teams are going to double team him. They're going to take him out of the game. They will force somebody. They will force Denver's hand at some point in time. If
Yeah.
that's, I don't know if that's going to be the rest of the season or if that's going to be the playoffs. Someone will force it.
Oh yes.
Who's at that other guy, and that's my biggest concern because you don't have that figured out right now.
I 100% agree. We're on the same page as that's concerned. Maybe like, and I understand you're like saying we don't need to force feed him. I get that. I don't want to completely force feed him. I just don't want to take any additional thought towards him. You know what I mean? I don't want us to be thinking for some reason we have to for any particular reason. Get yours when you get yours, and let's get hot and let's get moving. I agree with you though. It might be the playoffs, but at some point we'll need it. We'll absolutely need. And I don't know where it's going to come from. Maybe it's a Dulcich that comes back. Maybe it's a Troutman that steps up. Maybe it's Jerry Jeudy. Maybe it's a Brandon Johnson. Who knows? But I think if you're truly thinking about being competitive in the playoffs, you'll have to be. This week, guys, though, I'll be honest. I'm in agreement with some of these guys in the comments. Everyone will have an opportunity to be wide open. This Detroit secondary is nothing to be overly worried about at all. On the other side of things, I do want to kind of bring it back maybe to it the trenches again, because Graham brought up this a while ago, and I want to bring this up. He says he's still very scared of Aiden Hutchinson. What do you think about that Aiden Hutchinson Garrett Bowles matchup? And is Garrett Bowles up for it? Because he's had some good weeks, and then last week maybe not, or not last week, but a couple weeks ago maybe not his best. So is he up to the task once again to take on Aiden Hutchinson?
Yeah, I wonder, if this are we overlooking this Detroit kind of rushing, pass rush a little bit because we kind of I don't want to say overlooked it, but I don't think we really thought too much of Houston's pass rushing duo either. But they were able to do it. The numbers weren't there with Will Anderson, but he had a heyday all day with Denver. That's why I say it starts up front with McGlinchey and Bowles in particular. Those tackles, especially when it comes to pass protecting. But that's why I say. You still have to you have to be aware of those guys still because those guys will go after the quarterback. I mean, and these guys are still NFL players. Hutchinson's a former first round draft pick, so it's just like he's got talent. The talent's all there. You can't allow him to go off. It's a big game for Garrett Bowles. Once again, you have to keep Hutchinson in check, just like you did with Myles Garrett. We've kind of seen a mixed baggage with Bowles though. The Houston game he wasn't very great in pass pro, and then against Myles Garrett he was great. Khalil Mack, they shut down Khalil Mack for the most part, last week. So
I know
we've seen kind of a mixed baggage, and it's just like, I just don't want to overlook this pass rushing, where Detroit offers because that the numbers aren't there. The numbers are there, but here's the thing: they will still go after the quarterback, and you still have to stop them, and you still have to be aware that they're there. Hutchinson has 6.5 sacks, but he's still, in my mind, has the ability to be a double-digit sack guy by the end of the year. Still have to keep him in check. I mean, can't allow him to just kind of take over the game and dictate this game in any way like what Houston did. That's why it kind of scares me with this, just with up front, with Hutchinson and the rest of the guys. It's just like I just hope that Denver's not overlooking those guys because I think they did a little bit in Houston, and it got them in trouble.
Graham saying, I've heard people say Hutchinson has not had a great year, but he's still going to be a problem. Exactly what you end up saying, man, right at the end. Stacks might be stacking up in his favor. It might not be looking like the phenom type of year that that we were maybe expecting or saw in the past. But you better not just forget about him and think he's just a run-of-the-mill guy and that anybody can handle him, because he can be an absolute handful. So I agree with that, man. I wanted to bring that up because Graham brought that up, and I think that was a great point. Aiden Hutchinson is someone to be reckoned with and someone to still be watching as we watch the offense take the field. Like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities, and I think there is certainly a lot of points that could be scored in this game. But that being said, the defense goes out there. They're paid to do what they're paid to do, and they're going to show up and they're going to try to put a licking on us as well, I guess is the best way to put it. I want to get to Kenny before we kind of start to wrap up this up and get some final score predictions. I already see some starting to come in, so please fill up the comment boards. My posse in the chat board, please fill up the some score predictions. I'd love to rattle them off as we get along here. But Kenny says, Keith, a simple question for you both. He says he wants a bold prediction for the game. He says mine is that you're going to is going to be your tight ends have a combined 3 TDs or more in the game. That is a bold prediction, man, because obviously Troutman's snagged 1 or 2, but outside of that, has been kind of scarce for our tight ends. So 3 in one game or more, bold prediction, buddy. But I like it, man. I'd love to see our tight ends starting to get involved in this offense. That might be that position that we need opposite Cortland Sutton. You've had a little bit of time to think about it, not a whole lot of time, but do you have a bold prediction for Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick? Oh, by the way, guys, before you go, and this will give you a couple more times to maybe marinate that thought of yours, Trevor. Kenny Kirkpatrick is part of the fantastic K&K Sports Show, guys. If you don't know Kenny, if you don't know the K&K Sports Show, fantastic podcast on the East Coast. They cover all your major sports, Major League Baseball, basketball, football, and they do it with an East Coast flair. They have a wonderful Broncos show on Wednesday night, 8 p.m., and my favorite show is Wits and Wagers, so please check out K&K Sports Show. You'll get great questions like this and, well, maybe even great answers from Trevor, because every once in a while he's on the K&K Sports Show. So, once again, bold prediction. What do you got, Trevor?
I'm going to have Jared Goff throwing 3 interceptions in this game. I think Jonathan Cooper's sneaky good edge rusher. I think Detroit's going to be like, well, Nick Dino's out. I'll be wary of these guys, but, we can stop them. And then they're going to pressure Goff all day. I think Denver will stop the running game, and I think Goff's going to be in trouble. And I think our corners and our secondary have been playing really well. And so I think that we'll cover their targets pretty well. And I think that Goff is going to have a problem. I think going into tomorrow's game, I think he's going to be a guy because he threw 2 interceptions last week. So I think, and that was against the Bears defense. Denver's is one of those defenses that love to get turnovers. I think they'll get 3 interceptions from Jared Goff tomorrow.
3 INTs, man. I like that, man. Playing that turnover game, man, we tend to do really, really well. Puts us in great position. We've done well in coming away with wins on turnovers. So I'll take 3 interceptions, and I can definitely end up seeing it. The way that Goff has been playing, the way our defense has been playing, it all lines up. It certainly could be what we see. I like this. Graham's coming in here and saying, remember the other day I had a bold prediction that Troutman would outperform Laporta, and he's still feeling it. I like that, man. I'm going to go with this. I think there will be opportunities, and certainly just the way that Russell Wilson is, but I think we'll also draw this up a little bit. I'm going to say Russell Wilson runs for over 50 yards and 2 TDs in this game. And I don't know if that's a bold prediction, but I don't know how many times he's went over 50 yards this season. So I still think it's pretty dang bold. So 50 yards. Look for Russell Wilson to be able to scramble and pick up some chunks and pick up some yards in this game, guys. This defense does not do well against scrambling quarterbacks. If you look at the statistics there, they've done terrible against, well, a team like Chicago, for instance, where Justin Fields just ran all over him. So I think there'll be opportunity for Russell Wilson. Plus, if we get it into the gold zone, as they say, really tight in the red zone, then I think there's opportunity once again for Russell Wilson to run it in, or maybe he'll have a wide open tight end in the end zone, fulfill some of Kenny Kirkpatrick's 3 touchdowns by tight ends for his bold prediction. He's coming in here and saying, "Love it, guys, and love you guys too." So Clayton's coming in here and saying, "Go Kenny, my guy, love it." And Pearl's coming in and saying, "Hi Kenny, man, it's the Kenny Kirkpatrick show." All of a sudden, man, I should have brought him on. I got rid of Trevor. Oh, no, wait, I didn't say that. No. Just kidding, Trevor. Just kidding, man. Just kidding, man. No. Like I said, our cousins in the podcast world, we love them, man. They've been on our show. We've been on theirs. And Kenny's getting a lot of love, and we love that too, man. So, all right, man. I guess it's about that time, man. We should round out with some predictions, of some score, and just, hey, how you feel this game's going to play out before you give that score prediction. How's that?
Yeah, so I think in this game, I think it's going to be important. Again, Denver's going to have to stop the run. I think when they do that, I like Denver's chance in this game. Again, I predicted Goff to throw 3 interceptions. I think the chance of that going up is just based on how Denver's defense stops the run. I think that's just really, really important in this game, and I think it's going to dictate this game. If Detroit runs all over Denver's defense, it's going to be a long game
Mm,
for the Broncos, and so I think Denver ends up stopping Detroit's running game. I think they know what they need to do. I really do trust VJ more and more each week as time goes on. I think this is a big game for this defense in general. I think Denver's offense gets going a little bit as well. I think again a balanced attack, passing game. I think Russell Wilson. We'll see Russell Wilson get outside the pocket a little bit. You kind of seen that success against the Chargers last week, and so I think Russ has got to be turnover free. You can't turn the ball over. When he turns the ball over, again, you're putting your defense in a real bad spot. Got to win the game in all three phases. Last week, it was Riley Dixon putting putting Denver's defense in a great position,
yeah.
really pinning the Chargers offense back. That's the third phase of the game. That's special teams. Luss was good. You got to win all three phases of this game, and I think that's going to be important for the Broncos. And I think again, this is prime time football. Go out there and prove what you can do. Show the world. Continue to show the world what you can do. Play your game. There's no reason you can't. You've done it before. You beat the Chiefs. You beat the Bills. Those are two really tough teams, and there's no reason you can't go play on the road. You have confidence. You've just played last week really well on the road. Again, I think this is one of the better Broncos teams we've seen play on the road, play this good on the road in a long time. So, it's going to be interesting to see how Denver does. I think Sean Payton in particular really needs to be clutch. I think in this game, he's really got to, him and VJ in particular, they just got to really scheme up this game. Sean Payton's got to use his knowledge for back in the day, and I think use it in this game to the Broncos' benefit and really scheme up this game up well. So it'll be interesting to see what this team does. But I think the Broncos will get the job done and just stop the run and you let the Broncos offense kind of continue to go, and Russell Wilson take care of the ball. Third down efficiency too. Got to be good on third down efficiency as well.
All right. And in your score prediction?
28-24 Broncos.
Ooh, nice little tight one. I like that, man. That's fantastic. We had Clayton that came in a lot earlier. He was one of our first ones saying 28-14 us. He's looking at 5 sacks and at least 1 pick, 1 forced fumble, and a ton of hurries and hitting the QB. Yeah, hopefully not too late, though. We don't know any of those, So, boy, we have a few different. We got, trying to figure it all out here. Got Kenny Kirkpatrick coming in here saying 31-29 Broncos. Love picking those odd scores. I know I saw one other one I just wanted to bring up because I always love it. And, this one. Pearl's not a score predictor. So she always comes in here and just saying, close game, high score, Broncos will win close. So I love that. She never likes to put up a score prediction. She just likes to give you a general feel for the game. And I'll give you my general feel for the game, guys. As much as I know that we had, I think, Clayton coming in here saying ground and pound, and you were saying that we need to get the running game going, I don't know if we'll have the opportunity. I don't know. I think, honestly, the defenses will be tested in this game. And I hope that we get those turnovers. I hope that we get those pressures. I hope that we get those sacks. But if it doesn't go that way, like I said, this could be kind of a little bit of a shootout. And if that's being said, like I said, it's going to be on Russell Wilson. It's going to be on the offensive weapons. It's going to be big plays, and it's going to be, well, maybe pretty dang fun to watch, and a pretty good game to wrap up on Saturday night, on the NFL channel. I'm going to be right there really close with a lot of you guys. Kenny's coming in and changed his mind. Original score was 26-23. So bringing it in a little bit, not so high a scoring game. 31-29, that's racking up some points. But I'm going to be right there with him. I'll be honest, man. I want to go ahead and I'm going to put the Broncos in a 31-26 win. We're going to have to rack up those 4 touchdowns. We'll put up an extra field goal somewhere there in the middle. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be one of those ones that comes down to the wire. And, I think it's going to be hopefully a win. I can tell you, if the predictions that you're talking about, if some of these bold predictions that you put out there of 3 interceptions, which I think is a possibility, that can completely flip what I'm talking about here. But once again, I don't think there's too many opportunities for a shootout in our season, and this is one of those games I think is going to be a shootout. So again, 31-26, Broncos win. We continue on. We stack those wins, and we move on for what could be the final stretch heading into the playoffs and just needing to round it out and taking care of business, baby. So,
That's right.
all right. I'll hit a few comments and then we'll get some final thoughts and probably get out of here. Always some fantastic final thoughts to hear. Ooh, and I hit the wrong one. Is Pearl saying, I'm making onion rings tomorrow? Not just any onion rings. It's the winning Denver Bronco Roundup onion rings. Every time she makes them, guys, we get a win. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say if she's making them, we're getting that win, no doubt. Jeremy's coming in with a score prediction. He's coming in with a 24-17, I imagine, in favor of the Broncos. And Kenny's saying after watching the Raiders score 62, anything is possible this year. So Kenny's also saying onion rings tomorrow, chicken cutlet sandwich for Sunday for lunch. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, guys, he's a Giants fan out there on the K&K Sports Show. So, you got, what is it, Jimmy Cutlets or is that right? Timmy Cutlets?
Who's Kenny. Tommy DeVito, isn't
it? Tommy Cutlets. Timmy, Tommy, Jimmy, Tommy, Johnny. Who knows?
It might not even matter from a year from now. So I mean,
oh boy, come on now.
Shots,
throwing shots at the end.
Sorry,
Tommy,
Kenny.
Tommy, man. All right. Hey, and we got our good friend. And this is a perfect opportunity, but I'm gonna hijack some of your time here real quick, Trevor, because I usually give us shout outs in order, but since we got him in here right now, I want to tell you guys that we are sponsored by the fantastic Willow Seasonings and Blends, guys. Willow Seasonings and Blends is Colorado's premier sauces and seasonings company, guys, and I'm telling you, if you don't know about Willow Seasonings, you are out of touch, man. These guys make the best on the planet, man. Guy went to town, started this company from scratch just to get you the best flavor out there. Check them out. WillowSeasonings.com, guys, is the website. And I'm going to throw it up here on the screen for you guys. WillowSeasonings.com. And I'll get rid of that comment so you can actually see it. Sorry about that. WillowSeasonings.com. It's head on over there today, guys. Like I said, award-winning, blue ribbon, Colorado-based, Denver Bronco loving, veteran-owned. And every time you use that special little promo code I have up on the screen, it's going to A, save you 15%. B, it's going to help a family in need by going ahead and he donates $1 every time you use that code, guys. So Dave is fantastic. We appreciate him a ton. And I'll tell you the third thing it does, whether it's for you, whether it's for a loved one, it puts the best sauces and seasonings in your hand, and it doesn't lickety split. He ships them out super, super quick. And so, guys, check out Willow Seasonings and, spice up your life. That's the tagline. I almost forgot about that. Spice up your life. And he's saying, thank you, Keith. And of course, you're welcome, bud. Graham's coming in there with big love for the Willow Seasonings and Blends as well. All right, Trevor, I cut you off, but why don't you wrap us up, man? Get us out of here.
Yeah, so I think in particular, I think this is going to be a big game for Broncos. Of course, I've been saying 5-0 for the longest time. I think this is definitely a winnable game.
Mm-hmm.
Your schedule is in your favor going forward, to be honest with you. I think regardless of this game, but I still think that you need to make a stand and that it doesn't matter who you're facing. You have a great chance. And Detroit does not want to play the Broncos right now. Let's be honest. They don't want to play Denver and what Denver has offered. And Denver's just how hard they work and just how they're able to scratch out wins and victories and in different ways. It's something that you just don't see every day. And in Detroit, they've been struggling lately, so they're definitely looking to get another win and just kind of put Denver away. But again, Denver has played well on the road. I mean, I don't think that Detroit's going to affect their home field advantage, quote unquote. I don't think that's going to affect Denver in any way. Denver's been a really good road team this year,
mm-hmm.
and I think that they can come out. There's no reason they can't come out and win this game. Just got to continue to take care of business. Continue to play to your team's strengths, whether that's on both sides of the ball, honestly. And I know you're without some couple players this week, but again, just next man up mentality and go out there and get a win. Prove to the world what you can do. Primetime television is what you want. This is exactly what you want. You want the world to see what your team can do. and make a stand, go to the playoffs. Teams are going to continue to fear you. You win this game, or you just continue to battle it out. I mean, you're gonna really put your stamp on the league and put a stamp in your division. You want to win your division. This is the game that you need to win. You want to continue to put pressure on the Chiefs. You need to win. There's other teams that are still in contention right now for a playoff spot. I don't think you can be satisfied with just losing this game and say, "Oh, let's go on to the next week." No, I think this is very one of a winnable game, and you need to put your stamp on it. You need to win this game. You win this game, right out the rest of the way, right in the sunset, the rest of the way, and see what happens. Take care of what you can take care of. Honestly.
Yeah, I like it, bud. I love it. There, like I said, destiny in our hands, futures in front of us. In less than 24 hours, we'll know the outcome. And, absolutely, take it on, be feared, take it to them, show them what you got, do it in prime time. I like what you're saying, bud. Graham's saying, I feel like Trevor has experience as a sports player with all the motivational talk. Man, there you go, buddy. You got a second gig all lined up.
Exactly.
Pearl's coming in and saying, great show and a big thank you. And lots of big hearts. Appreciate it very much. Martin saying, prime time is right. It's time to shine. Loving that as well. Loving what you're saying, obviously, is Trevor. And David Slay saying, let's go Broncos. This is my thought, guys. I remember as a kid, man, and I'm going to put this out here, man. Just believe. Just believe. I have a lot of faith in the power of thought, the power of energy of us all just believing in this Denver Broncos team, and I think we're starting to get it. We're starting to turn that page. We're starting to head in the right direction. We know that we got a great organization. We know we got great ownership. We know we got a great coach. We're putting together a fantastic team. We're going on a fantastic run. Everyone can start to feel it. It's time to start to believe and not turn back, man. Don't turn back when there is a bad play. Don't turn back when there is a drop ball. You know what I mean? Continue to believe, because it feels like this team is one of those teams that will themselves to win, and you'll want to be part of that ride, man. You'll want to be part of that ride. So that's my final thought, man. Just go out there, believe in them. Don't get disheartened. It's going to come down to the wire, Broncos, but I believe we can get that win. So let's go ahead and have a great one. We're going to hit some final comments. David Slade's coming in here and saying, let's go Broncos. I might have hit that already. Pearl's coming in here and saying, me too, go Broncos. And she's saying me too as far as just believing. I love that, Pearl. Thank you so much. Jeremy's coming in here and saying, thank you so much, guys. Go Broncos. And Kenny's coming in here and saying, Trevor needs to make a trip to New Jersey where he can have a sandwich shop for cutlets. We have a great sandwich shop for cutlets. I will take Trevor. I will get Trevor to like cutlets soon, Keith and chat.
Maybe cutlets, but not Tommy cutlets.
You're not all about Tommy cutlets. Love this. Graham coming in with the believe stamp in there as well. And Kenny's coming in saying, I love you. Great show. I love you guys. Great show. I just want to say, and typically if you catch our Tuesday show, we have Albert the Mile High Dutchie, who does a fantastic job, and it writes down everyone's names and calls them out. I just want to say just a fantastic big thank you to everybody, man. I know there's a lot of names in the chat board. I know that a lot of you guys are staying up late on the East Coast. Some of you guys probably didn't even expect this podcast to go out because we did get a late start and you jumped right in and you're part of the show. We appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys have been such a huge part of our show. We have been growing leaps and bounds. It's been amazing. If you guys don't know, we're brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Sports Network, and Rocky Mountain Sports Network is more than just Broncos. They cover all of your Colorado sports. So whether it be the Broncos, the Avalanche, the Nuggets, or the Rockies, check out the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Guys, you can check them out just by doing RockyMountainSN.com. That's our website over there, RockyMountainSN.com. Or you can just search out Rocky Mountain Sports Network, where you get all your social media, whether it's Facebook or X or YouTube, whatever have you. Guys, like, share, subscribe, smash the like buttons, do all those great things you guys have been doing for a couple years now, almost now, and really have helped us out. We appreciate you guys a ton and love you guys so much. All right, with that, guys, I guess we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to say, did I give you my? Oh yeah, I gave you all my final thoughts. I gave you my score prediction. All of a sudden, I'm like blanking out. It's too late at night. We're doing too late of a pod. No, I appreciate you guys so very much. I have a fantastic day tomorrow. Enjoy the day. Have a even more wonderful evening, man, as we hopefully take home that win. That's what we're all believing in. And Graham coming in here and saying, have a good night. Great way to wrap up the show. So for me, got to do that outro, man. Remember to keep your boots in your stirrups, right?
Yeah.
Keep your guns in your holsters. Keep the Broncos in your hearts. And until next time, guys, we're out of here. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.